right about when I started getting serious about the weightlifting aspect of my fitness journey, a little over 10 years ago. Two different acquaintances of mine had fairly serious setbacks due to injury. And without going into too much detail, both of them had bicep injuries. Both of them had to take several weeks off. One of them was no more than 5 years older than me. The other was about 5 years younger, which means that we were all between 45 and 55. Not only is injury time a setback in the moment, but one thing that one discovers as one gets older is that injuries that we recovered from in our younger years often come back to haunt us in subtle ways because they were only 98% healed or 95% healed or 90% healed. And our youthful adaptability allowed us to get away with training through those setbacks, and we just didn't notice them. But there they are lying in wait. And in particular, in my 20s and 30s and early 40s, strain in my elbows had often been one of the limiting factors for my previous attempts at working out consistently. I would go into the gym, I'd be motivated, I'd go hard for a couple of weeks, maybe even 6 or 7 weeks, but I'd keep overtraining, and my elbows would often be the place where it showed up first, and I'd have to stop for a while because I was overdoing it and needed to rest and recover, and that would be the thing that broke my entire pattern. I don't love to benefit from other people's misfortune, but I'll do my damnedest to learn from it. And having those two friends get injured in about the same way at about the same time on something that I had already had setbacks with was all the encouragement I needed to start slower and stay consistent, but back off if I noticed myself beginning to have strain. And I make that sound easy, but it's not the easiest thing for me. Even now, 10 years on, I don't necessarily take as many rest days as I should, as often as I might need them. But I remind myself that injury time is usually much, much longer than a rest day or two. You know, and what was particularly useful for me in the lead up to these injuries, both of these friends knew that they were starting to have some issues, and they were trying to manage those issues and trying to back off and trying to be a little bit smarter, and they just didn't get it right. And what that convinced me was the value of playing it safe and conservative. Certainly at my advanced age, starting off at 49, 50, now being 60, you know, I want this body to be functional for me for at least another 20 or 30 years if I can last that long. I don't want injury time to be what takes me out. And I understand that this is a message that doesn't always go over very well with people who are committed to the idea of go hard or go home, who are committed to the idea that you can push through things. And by the way, one can push through low-level pain if one is cautious about it. Whole different discussion. I just reframed the question of go hard or go home. What am I going hard at? I'm going hard at keeping myself healthy for the future. I'm going hard at taking the long view, not just the short reward of the instant feeling of progress, which, by the way, I love. I'll take validation in the moment any day, and I'll run with it. But I know it's not the only focus that I should be having, and so it's not the only focus that I have. So far, so good. As the years have gone on, I'm injuring myself usually less often. So of course, this is just another example of a point that I hammer home a lot in these videos. Let the consistency do the work as much as the intensity of any given workout, especially if you're an older person. You've got this. You want to integrate this into your life in a way that you can maintain it. There's no point lifting 100 pounds once and then breaking yourself and never being able to lift 5 pounds again in the future.